Okay, guys, so welcome to today's training on Stripe. Stripe is a payment processing software that we would really recommend that you use for taking payments. Now, there's tons of ways you can take payments, right? You can either use Stripe, like we recommend. There's good old-fashioned bank transfers and direct debits, and then there's other products out there that are similar to Stripe, like Go Cardless. But I find in my time of being self-employed and running a business that Stripe is ultimately the best software. You will pay slightly more for Stripe. It takes a slightly higher percentage fee than Go Cardless, and obviously bank transfers are completely free. But as you scale your business, you want to pay a little bit more for better products that take away any kind of stress from you, that take away any kind of slowing you down. You want to delegate these products out there, and they're going to automate life for you. And ultimately, there's nothing worse for your mental health and, worrying about business than you check your bank account tomorrow and you see that a client hasn't paid you or they've canceled their direct debit without telling you. And there's money there that you don't have. Okay. So that'll just ruin your whole day. And again, sometimes it'll maybe ruin your whole week, your whole month. So what you don't want to do is go through that. Now, by using Stripe, what's great about Stripe, over bank transfers and over Go Cardless is that it doesn't use direct debit. It automatically invoices your client's card that they will save on file every month if you're paying them monthly or they're paying you monthly or however. And you don't have to worry about that. Now, Stripe will tell you if the payment for some reason hasn't lifted. But what's beneficial about this is if your client wants to cancel with you, they can't just cancel it. Okay, it's not like a direct debit where they're going to talk to the bank and cancel it. If they wanted to do that through their card company, that would be a lot of hassle for them. So ultimately, they'll have to approach you and say, I no longer want to work with you, or this, that, or the other. And you can obviously try and sell them back in at that stage. So that's just one wee benefit of Stripe is that you can automate all your payments and your clients can't really cancel them without going through a lot of effort. Okay. So that's going to help you with the business growth because ultimately clients, whenever they're maybe not sticking to their program or whatever, it's easy. They don't want the confrontation. They don't want to say to you, oh, I'm not sticking to my plan and I want to cancel, because they know you're going to talk them into staying. Okay. So it's easy for them to just cancel direct debit on their app on their phone. If they're using Stripe, they are going to have that conversation with you. Okay. So Stripe is going to keep you clients for longer, even though it costs a tiny little bit more. The other issue as well that I found with Go Cardless is if you're an online coach, international payments have been an issue with Go Cardless, in my experience. So if you're maybe based in the UK or you're based in Ireland and you're trying to build somebody from one or the other, there has been times where Go Cardless payments have failed because of that reason, just EU and UK and USA and all sorts of things like that. Stripe doesn't have that issue. Okay. So today I'm going to show you how to set Stripe up, set up all the products you need to set up all the subscriptions you need to set up, how to invoice a client, and how to set up a subscription for a client as well. Great thing about Stripe is as well, you can completely brand it in your own colors, attach your logo to it. So whenever you're getting your client's getting a receipt or an invoice from you, it looks very professional. It looks like, this guy's on the ball. He runs a real business. He's not just some online coach, sitting behind a laptop with no qualifications, and he's not a real business. He's just a guy that has a six pack. Okay. So the more professional you can make your business seem, the further you're going to take it. Okay. Now, all you need to do to begin with is go to stripe.com. Okay. It'll take you to a website like this. Now, I'm already logged in, so it's showing dashboard there, but there's going to be sign in and sign up options. There's no point in me. I'm not going to be able to sign up for a new Stripe account because I don't have another business to use. But whenever you're signing up for Stripe, it's going to ask you either you're an individual or a limited company. Now, we would 9 times out of 10 recommend you become a limited company. It's going to be much more beneficial for tax as you grow. Okay. If you're using limited company details, you want to use the details that match company's house, because that'll get through all the verification processes quicker. All you need is your own details and a bank account. You don't need an instructional video on how to actually sign up for an account. Okay. What you need is the next part. So once you're all signed up, you're going to end up with a dashboard that looks like this. Okay. This is just a test one that we have. So as you can see, it's pretty empty. There's nothing on here, but there is the option there as well, as you can see, to take direct debits. But again, wouldn't recommend direct debits as they can be canceled by the client. So what I want to show you first is just give you a bit of a rundown of how Stripe works, and then I'm going to show you the process of setting everything up before you start taking sales calls and using Stripe. Okay. Now, this is your homepage. Whenever you start making some money, this is going to show you all of your metrics, how much gross money you've made. It'll even show you how much commission Stripe has taken off you. It's like 1.2% or something small. It's not very big. That'll show you your net amount after their fees, how many new customers you've signed up this month. There's all sorts of metrics, monthly recurring revenue, which is key to a PT or an online coach. Or any business really. This is just, this basically will tell you how much money is recurring every single month. Okay. And then you've got churn rates and things like that there. So I'll not bore you too much with all of that. Next is payments. Okay. So these are going to show you the payments that have been processed by your customers. This will also show you if someone has failed a payment as well. Okay, so, succeeded, refunded, uncaptured being that hasn't lifted. We'll go into invoice and subscriptions in a minute. Balances, again, this will just show you what's due to be paid out to you. So Stripe will pay you out within a couple of days. It's not automatic, so it will take a few days for them to pay you, but you'll get used to that after a wee while. And you can actually see all your payouts here. So it'll tell you when it's paid and withdrawn and whatever else. Customers, this is where you'll store your customers. Okay, so this is a one-time setup thing. You only need to set this up once whenever you're on a sales call with someone for the first time. And then your product. So we'll be coming in here in a second to show you. If you can see, I've made some wee dummy products in the past before in this wee test account. And I'll show you that again. There's other things here like reports. You're very rarely going to be getting involved in all this stuff. Okay, Connect, again, it's something you'll probably not need to worry about too much. And then you can see here, there's tons of other stuff like tax stuff and things like that you can get involved in. Now up here, top right in the settings, you may want to have a wee play around with. Just move my face out of the way there. The likes of the branding, for example, that I was telling you about earlier, tax details, the bank account stuff you should set up to begin with. But if you ever change bank accounts, that's just where you go in and change it. The branding thing is something I would always set up, pretty early on. So put your logos in here. Put your main brand color in there. So if your main brand colors are, yellow and black, for example, like put yellow in here and put black in here, and it'll style it all for you. It'll look pretty good. So you'll want to do that at the start. Again, you don't really need a tutorial on all of this. It's upload your logo and put some colors in. So let's get into it now. Products. So this is where you're going to create your actual offerings. Okay, so whether it's a high ticket, low ticket, subscription based model, whatever. Okay, so all you need to do is go to add product, okay, and give a name for your product. Okay, so let's just call this high ticket for now. Now your client will see the name of this, so obviously you'll not want to call it. You maybe want to call it like 12-week physique or whatever it is, but just for training's sake, we'll call this high ticket offer. Okay, and description, you don't really need to do that. Image, don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry about any of this either. Okay. Now, this is where it gets important, okay? So you'll want to come up with probably a couple of options here. So, a high ticket offer nowadays is around $997, depending on where you are with your business. But it's not a recurring, okay? Recurring would be a subscription, so that would be billing them $997 every month. So you want to switch that to one time, okay? Now, what you might want to consider as well is if you are VAT registered or not, okay? If you're not VAT registered, you can put in just the price of what it costs because you don't pay VAT. If you are VAT registered, you want to put in the price X VAT in here. And then I will show you later how to actually add VAT on, okay? So, but for now, we'll just put it in at this price, okay? So that's one time. And that's literally it. That is the product created, okay? So that's your high ticket offer now exists. So if we go back into products, okay, you can see it's there. Now, what you might want to do as well, which a lot of people do, is a high ticket split offer. Okay, so if somebody can't afford to pay you $997 up front for 12 weeks or however long you're doing it, you might want to say to them, oh, that's okay. I can take 2 payments of 600 instead. Okay. So you just bill them £600 and then bill them again a month later for another 600. Or what you can do is you can actually set that up as a recurring offer so that it bills them. Let me see here. Yeah, you'd want to bill in every month. So you just do that, and then when the second one comes out, cancel the subscription. It's up to you what way you do that. I would probably do it as bill them one time, take it up front, and then set a calendar reminder for a month later, go in and bill them for the second, okay? So you can do something like that there. Generally, your split offer is going to be, because you're not getting it all up front, you want it to be more expensive. So if your high ticket's $997, a 600 and 600 means you get 1,200. They pay a wee bit more because you're not getting all the money up front. Now, what most online coaches that have a really good recurring model will have is they will offer, it'll be $997 for 12 weeks. And then at the end of the 12 weeks, it could be £150 a month after that. So, call this back-end subscription. Okay. Now, the way that I would recommend that you set up a new client whenever they come on board with you is that you sell them their 12 weeks, but sell them on the basis that it automatically goes into a back-end subscription of, say, whatever you want it to be. We'll work this out with you, but £150 a month recurring. Okay. And you want that set up automatically. Okay. We don't want that to be, you at the end of the 12 weeks, you go, oh, do you want to go onto the back end now? No. Finish the 12 weeks. Immediately after that, the £150 a month starts coming out. Okay. They have to give you 30 days notice to leave. They have to tell you that they want to leave. Okay. If you're getting them a good result, there's no reason that they shouldn't want to continue with you. Okay. So make sure that you're upfront with them, get them to sign a contract that says this is the way it works. And they understand and tell you they understand on the call. This is not just a 12-week process. It's a 6-month, year-long process or whatever. And it's going to significantly increase your revenues, and it's going to significantly help build your client base up. Okay. Because, people get to the end of 12 weeks and they go, oh, I've had a good result. I'll take a wee break. I'll come back to in a couple of months. And then they don't come back. Okay. You want to have them locked in. Okay. So this is your back end subscription setup as well. And you've seen how this works now. Okay. You can use this for a low ticket offer. You can use it for anything. Now you'll see the difference there between these being one time and this being recurring. It shows /month. Okay. So that's it set up as a monthly subscription. Okay. Now, I said to you about VAT before. So tax rates here, okay? What you'll need to do if you're VAT registered is add a tax rate, okay? Now, depending on what country you're from, sales tax is generally United States. Most other countries use VAT. You'll know yourself what it is in your own country, so just select the right one. It's VAT in the UK, and then it'll ask you to select a region. So we go United Kingdom. Okay. And then again, you'll need to put that in. So 20%. Now, this is exclusive and inclusive. Okay. So generally, I much prefer it on an invoice to be exclusive. So I'll put the price X VAT in my product, and then I will add on 20% exclusive on top. What you can do if you prefer, but I just don't think it looks very good on an invoice, and it can be quite confusing for the end user, is, for example, the way we put in 997 in there. So let's say you have all your products before you register for VAT and you don't want to go and create all new products. You can do 20% inclusive, and then you add it on, and it doesn't add any extra money on. It just says in the invoice, this includes 20% of VAT. Okay. So typically I like it exclusive. I'll show you it both ways here. When I do the invoice. So let's do more VAT, United Kingdom, and 20% inclusive. Okay. Okay, so now we have both options. All right, so far we've got the product setup, subscription setup. So that's basically Stripe's setup for you. You're now ready to take a sales call, okay? So whenever you take a sales call, the client is sold, they're happy enough to progress with you. They're going to go ahead with it. You've done your close, okay? You'll now need to set them up on Stripe. So you'll want to have Stripe open during the sales call. Be assumptive that you're going to close the sale, okay? And the first place you're going to need to go is customers, okay? And we're going to create a new customer because they've just come on board with you, okay? So we'll just call this, like Jane Doe, okay? And yeah, we'll use that Jane example.com. And then, and then we're going to go down to billing information, okay? So generally their email is going to be the same either way, okay? Put in the country they're from, okay? And then put in their address, okay? So let's put some test stuff in here for now. Same as billing details, choose a time zone. Okay, and just want to get all these details in. Just keep talking to them while you're doing this as well. So that's generally what I do when I'm setting a client up is just keep having a bit of small talk at this stage, okay? Don't need to worry about any of this stuff. All right, and then add customer. Okay, so now that Jane is created, what we're going to do is we are going to create an invoice for her, okay? So we're going to create an invoice. Okay, now this is something that will happen to you, okay? So again, keep up the small talk with your client. It takes a wee second for the customer to actually load in here after you've just created it, okay? So, just keep the chit chat up and eventually it'll load in. Sometimes if you start typing their name in, there you go, it'll come up a wee bit quicker. So that's Jane, okay? And then we're going to charge her our high ticket. Now, this is where the VAT thing comes into it, okay? And I'll just show you the difference between exclusive and inclusive. So if you do VAT 20%, which is the exclusive one, okay, and you hit save, what's going to happen here? You can see, so it's 997. It shows the VAT at 20%, which is 199.40. So that's 20% on top of this figure, and the amount due is 119,640, okay? If you use the inclusive, okay, the price won't change, okay? It will be 997, but it'll show that there's VAT in there of 16617, okay? Depending on, who your end customer is, an inclusive one's probably fine for just Gen Pop people. If you're working with someone that's in business and stuff like that, generally they'll want the exclusive stuff, okay? But it's up to you at the end of the day. I just think the exclusive one looks a bit cleaner. It looks more like a VAT invoice, okay? And you will find that you'll work with people over time that will be business people and they'll want VAT invoices. They'll maybe be able to claim this back through their business or something. So this looks a lot better for them. It's showing the ex-VAT price, it's showing the VAT itself, and it's showing the total price. Especially if you are, if you are charging business, they'll want to see this price because that's what they're actually paying, because the VAT is not important, okay? Now, the next part of this is you'll automatically want to charge a payment method on file, okay? So this is where you take their card details, and that will store their card details permanently, okay? So you start typing in, okay, it's not my actual card, so just typing in some random numbers there, and yeah, it'll tell you that's not a real card anyway, and then last 3 digits, okay? So you put in a card like that, okay, providing it is a real card, and then you hit review invoice, okay, and charge customer, okay? Now obviously I'm not going to charge that, it's not a real card anyway, and then that's it. The payment will go through. It'll jump back to your screen like this, and it'll say paid, okay? So what you'll want to do while you're on, you're in the zone and you're on Stripe, don't leave this till later, is set up their back end recurring, okay? So you'll have a screen like this, it says create your first subscription, okay? And it works exactly the same way, okay? So pick Jane, okay? and then pick back-end subscription. Okay, don't forget to add your VAT, whichever way you're doing it. Okay, there should be a card now saved here. Okay, so it won't say add a payment method, and you just have automatically charge a payment method. And then what you want to do is schedule that. Okay, so schedule it on the date that you want. Okay, so it's probably not going to be for 3 months. Okay, if that's when so let's say they're starting on the 1st. Okay, so you've sold them a 3-month program. You want that direct debit to come out the 1st of April, and then you hit schedule subscription. Okay, and you don't ever really want it at the end. You just want it to keep rolling. Okay, again, unless you sold something specifically like a like a 12-month product or something like that, and you say after 12 months make it end kind of thing. Okay, generally you don't want to. So once that's done, once that's scheduled, it's all good. If for some reason they start late and you need to change that subscription date, you can go back in and change it. So it's easy enough done. Okay. So that is basically Stripe. Once you've done all that, once that's all set up, then you're flying, guys. That's all Stripe is. It's it might seem daunting if you didn't do this training and you were trying to do it yourself, but you'll see there if you just follow those instructions, there's not a lot to it. All you have to do is create your products, create your customer when the time is there, invoice them, set up the back-end subscription, and you're golden. All you'll need to remember to do is I wouldn't really get too caught up in Stripe. I would maybe check it. You check your subscriptions, check your invoices, make sure they've been paid, maybe once a week or something like that. Because, if you do build up to 50 odd clients, then there's going to be a time where it's going to be hard to keep track of all that. So, people will miss payments. Okay. You might get a couple of months in a row where everybody pays on time and there's no issues at all, but you will get the odd missed payment in here. You will get less with Stripe versus anything else, but you will get the odd one. So you'll want to come in and just check to make sure that everybody's paid you on time. But hopefully that was helpful. Any issues, guys, just give me a shout in the group and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.